Well, okay. Hi, friends. Doc South here. I know it's a cardinal rule lately, anyway, of radio that you never talk well about another station, but I can't help it. I'm kind of tired of that rule anyway. If another station's doing something pretty neat, well, you should. Yeah, what's it going to hurt you to talk about it? Right. Uh, the uh, I last night. Let me just begin, and it's going to be kind of a rambling thing. Well, yeah, I know what else is new. But this, I was on my way back from the Chatterbox after doing my gig, and I had a good time at the Chatterbox. You know, I always do. Uh, yeah, I play, as you know, I play all those great early rock and roll songs there, webcast them for you if you can't make it. Quite often we have a cruise night, but last night, no, we had a pretty heavy rain come through. That kind of put the kibosh on, gosh, any tea buckets coming in, that's for sure. The one guy that might have made it was the one fella has that automobile that's also a boat. He might have gotten through, but maybe not in high tide. I didn't check the tide tables. I don't know. But I was on my way, and a friend had told me about this. He said there's a station coming out of, I think it's Sussex County Community College. Okay, I think. I don't know if it's affiliated with the college or if they're just using the light. I don't know any of the legal details. But I do know I think that's where they're based. Newton, New Jersey. It's an FM station. I guess they're starting it up, and people are telling me that it's a pretty good place. Pretty good spot on the dial. It's low on the dial. I don't think I've got. I don't want to give you the call. Well, it's WRSK is the name of the station. I guess you could look it up. I I was told it was 87.5, but on my radio, you go down to 87.5, you're darn near into, I think, the police bands. I don't. I can't. My radio won't go down that low. Maybe it's 97.5. I'm not sure, and you can only get it within about 15 miles of Newton. I don't think they have the world's strongest tower, uh, but maybe they're on the web. I don't know. You can look. You can look. But gee, I've gotten kind of tired of riding home listening to the radio. Quite often, I'll just take a CD and stuff it in and listen to a CD. Even though I've been playing oldies for 7 hours, it's better than listening to, gosh, some of the stations. What do they got? They got one guy. Let me think. He's selling supplements, right? Or there's a nice show, a 1 hour call-in show about prostate cancer. Oh, gosh, that's always fun to hear, especially if you really got to go. You forgot before you left. There's news, and the news is always, oh my gosh, all this stuff. And I know there was one guy had a show on fashion. Well, you can tell I'm very interested in that. The gosh, what ball cap are all the hoi polloi wearing this year? Excuse me, I'm you know okay. And it's like that all the way home. Sometimes, honestly, I turn off the radio. I just ride through the dark, looking for any hints of ghosts in the woods or something. It's honestly it's kind of a drag after playing all those cool oldies to have just nothing but argument clinics and infomercials, one after another after another. Saturday night used to be the night the radio stations howled at the top of their lungs. Not anymore. So I remembered what my friend said, so I tried to find this station, and I eventually got it. WRSK. And I'm sorry I did. I changed the dial before. You can search it out if you're close to Newton. Give it a whirl. Maybe you can get back to me. I'll let people know. But the thing is, the guy, I think it was a fellow named, and forgive me if I'm wrong on the name. You know I'm not good on names. Johnny D, I think it was. And my gosh, he was rolling. He was doing a really neat party show. I mean, if you were having a party, you would put this on. The party would take care of itself musically. He was really good. And he was playing all sorts of neat songs out of the 70s. I think there might have been some 80s in there, maybe. He played Elvis, for crying out loud. Elvis, yeah, and some of those wild bands out of the '60s. Yeah, it was a. Eventually, I lost the signal, and I just turned the radio off and just just kind of rode down through the fog. But it was refreshing. When I lived in the South, Saturday night radio stations, you could drive past the typical radio station, and you could see the antenna just going whoa, like that. It was almost like the antenna was dancing from all the power they were sending out, and and all the screaming music that was on that station. And the Southerners would be, maybe they'd be at home or out in the field somewhere with the radios blasting, and they'd be rip snorting, having themselves a time. Next morning, sure, they just drive straight, well, right from the party, they'd drive straight to church, sleep an hour or two, and go crawling in with awful headaches and make atonement. And maybe pass on the wine. But they'd have themselves a time. Saturday night was the night to let it rip. Maybe Friday night also, but mostly Saturday. Saturday night, yeah. And this guy would have fit right in back in those days. Again, nowadays, my gosh, the stations are so. I mean, people call up like after work, all those different talk shows. It's always someone who's real crabby, and heaven help you if you call them up to talk about an issue, you get your head bit off. I don't think that's going to happen on this one particular station. Sounds pretty cool. I don't know why they don't have on regular radio, why they don't have a station or a show where you could call in and talk about the good things that happened. Wouldn't that, I guess maybe they've tried it and it doesn't fly, although I think it should. Probably didn't give it enough of a try. Maybe they couldn't find any of those talk show hosts that were cheerful. It's just, God almighty. So anyway, I just thought I'd say they really, I thought were amazing. It was, I don't know what else they program. I understand from talking to friends they're going to be kind of like my web station. I guess playing lots of older music and hopefully serving it up with a smile. Boy, that would be nice, huh? Yeah. It's funny, but in the old days, yeah, radio was. I know I'm sounding, yeah, in my day. No, when I was younger, the DJ's cousin Brucey, he'd never scream at a listener. God, never. Yeah, they'd call in, hey, Brucey, can you play? Yeah, sure. And all that stuff he'd do. Would Wolfman yell at you? Oh, no, he was too busy, eating popsicles and screaming and yelling and queuing up the next record. And how could you go wrong? You're riding around with your girlfriend and stuff, and there he is. Or Murray the K and his submarine races, him and the Delicates, yakking it up in the studio. Ay, ay, ay. And they're playing happy tunes, and everybody's just you just felt a whole lot better listening to the radio. Now I don't think you do. What else? Oh God. Well, the bopper, and they were always pulling stunts. Like DJs would maybe broadcast from a store window, a storefront window. Maybe they broadcast from jail. Maybe they got sent up the river. They're still broadcasting as they're being loaded into the bopper. The bopper, I remember, Big Bopper. A guy did Chantilly Lace. He was a DJ. People don't always realize that, but he was. He actually scored I don't think the record's been broken. I've not heard that it was, but he at least back in his day, he broadcast one show. He went for 4 days and I think 8 hours, something like that, and then he collapsed. About all he could do, I think they said during the news break, he could take a shower. And other than that, yeah, he had to get right back on. Coffee, of course, was definitely the case, and he'd be screaming and yelling. I mean, if you can ever find an air check of the Big Bopper, you won't believe the show. And I don't think anyone can match it. So yeah, that the radio was much more fun. Believe it or not, yeah, you could actually tune in and start smiling. Yeah, I'm just saying. But anyway, this RSK, you might want to check it out. When you're not listening to them, hey, check out my webcast, of course. Well, you go to DocSouthShow.com and you'll see links to the station. It would be great if you'd show some of the older folks in your family how to get through to my station. That would be a big help because I know they're not tuning in because it's a computer and they're looking to say, I don't know. But there ought to be a way where they can just hit a button or two, and you show them what button to hit, and bingo, they can, and get them some speakers they can hook up to the, because listening on the computer speakers that ain't gonna cut it. Okay, so keep it in mind. I'll do my best from my end, but when you're up driving around up near Newton, New Jersey, you might want to give this RSK a shot. I think you'll like it. Honestly, I think you will. It's a shame they don't have some giant antenna. Ish. But those things are kind of expensive. And then every now and then someone's got to climb up and change the light bulb. Yeah. That's a short straw situation. Okay, men, pick the short straw. Whoever gets the short straw has got to go up. Yeah. How high is it? 500 feet? Yeah. Okay. Well, you get the idea. All right. I imagine back in the day there was probably some DJ broadcast from top of the antenna. I'll bet there was some fool. Yeah. Like I said, I knew a guy. Did I say this already? No. Yeah. He'd go into the studio, lock the door, bar the door, put furniture up against. He stripped down to his underwear, put on a pith helmet. Yeah, like an explorer, and he'd release boa constrictors into the studio, into his control booth, so no one would bother him. No one bothered him. Yeah, I think he had some big spiders he let go too, tarantulas and stuff. Yeah, no one went in, and no one bothered him for those 3 hours he was on. And man, that guy was a screaming fool. He sure as heck was. I think out of San Diego. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, enough said. Give it a whirl. You might just dig it. Okay. We'll see you. Bye now.